Oh yay! Another Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter matchup. In all seriousness, we haven't gotten a Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat matchup in a while, so I'll let it slide for now. I don't want this to become the next Marvel versus DC. I doubt that it will, but still. So anyway, DIO versus Alucard came out. Talking about that later. Right now, Akuma versus Shao Kahn. I honestly really don't know enough about these characters. I do know that Akuma has like two different forms, like Shin Akuma and Oni and stuff and all that stuff. And I know literally nothing about Shao Kahn. I mean, aside from that, he was a tyrannical warlord who ruled over the Outworld until he was defeated by Liu Kang in, I think, canon. I don't know. Mortal Kombat is confusing. I still love it, but it's confusing. So anyway, I think Akuma... No, not Akuma. Shao Kahn is the... I think Shao Kahn's gonna win. I hear he has, like, some multi-continental feat. I'm probably wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I hear he's just superior to Akuma. But then again, Death Battle have done a fight between a Street Fighter character and another fighting game character, where the Street Fighter character, they did Ryu versus Jin, where logically... Okay, I'm gonna say this. Logically, Jin should win. I said it. But they had Ryu win, so they might pull something to make them... They might pull something and say, oh, well, Akuma can do this, and that's superior to everything Shao Kahn can do, so therefore Akuma wins. That's probably not going to happen, but it might. There's a 99.9% chance that's not going to happen. But there's that 0.1% chance that that 0.1% chance that it will happen. But yeah, I think Shao Kahn's going to win. I really want to get to the review because, oh boy, I have a lot to say. DIO versus Alucard. How was it? Was it better than John Talbane versus Saberwolf? I'm going to say yes, 100%. It was a million times better. For one, the sound effects and the sound design is really good. The voice acting is also really good. Not to say that it wasn't good in Talbane versus Saberwolf, but it's just a lot better here. DIO sounds just as cocky and just as much a jackass as he should. And Takahata 101 just kills it as Alucard. All of his deliveries are cool. And I'm really actually happy they kind of didn't focus. They didn't make it Hellsing Ultimate Abridged Alucard. They just made it Hellsing Alucard, Hellsing Ultimate Alucard. Not the Abridged series, just Alucard. No cocky one-liners, nothing. And as much as I love the Hellsing Ultimate Abridged series, honestly, I'd say that it's the best Abridged series that Team 4-Star have done. I said it. Fight me. I'm just happy they didn't make it like Shadow vs. Vegeta, where it's more humor-based than actual action. And not to say that Shadow vs. Vegeta is bad. For a Season 1 episode, it's really good. But... this is just better. The animation... The backgrounds are a little... I'm still not a fan of the backgrounds. But this one I can kind of forgive a little bit for that one scene where Alucard's level 0 form, just floods the streets of England or London, and DIO just gets knocked back. I also love DIO and the world, fighting the ghouls, or the zombies, that came from Alucard's level 0 form. I'm a little sad they didn't include a cameo from, like, Dandyman or Rip Van Winkle, because that would have been pretty cool to see. But, of course, budget, and props for what they did. The fight was also just genuinely epic. Hell Over Heaven is a spectacular track. And some of the hand-drawn stuff is really good. Alucard's face, right before his death, I'll get to that, was a little weird, and the drawing of Dio doing his, like, part 3 pose, where it just shows his back, and then switching to the sprite where it doesn't have the star tattoo on the back of his neck, is also a little weird, and it kind of took me out a bit. But other than that, it was still a really good fight. I do like how they also used a lot more of Dio's vampire abilities, and not just the world and the time stop and the knives. Although, I did like how when Dio used his knives against Alucard, he said checkmate, which is a reference to Jump Force, which, if you don't know, okay, so when I play Jump Force, I mostly pick Dio, and I spam the hell out of checkmate. It is honestly kind of broken. I'm a Dio main. Yes, I said it. But yeah, he says checkmate, and that was really cool. The road roller bit was could have been better, but I'm just happy they didn't say they didn't do the English dub line, and he actually said roda rolada, which is what he said in the Stardust Crusaders, which is my favorite JoJo part. So, and the analysis was also fine, though Boomstick Stand being a living beer can that can turn anything to beer wasn't that surprising, and it wasn't really that funny. But I did like the lack of overused Joe jokes in the analysis for Dio. And also the lack of Hellsing Ultimate Abridged jokes or the lack of overused Hellsing Ultimate Abridged jokes in Alucard's analysis. Overall, this is just a really good episode. I loved a lot of it, and I had a smile on my face because Dio is by far my favorite character in JoJo as a whole. My favorite JoJo in general is probably Josuke, and Jotaro comes in a close second, but I just like Josuke because he's just totally off the wall and funny. But Dio is just generally my favorite character because of how much of a jackass he is. And Alucard is also a really cool character, and like I said, Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is my favorite abridged series that Team 4 Star has done. If I can list my favorites from the ones I've seen, I haven't seen. Do they do Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged? I don't know. I'd say that it's Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is my favorite, and then next is Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and last is Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged. I don't like that. I should do. Ooh, that's a video idea. I'm gonna do that as a future video idea. But yeah, I just really like this episode. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's really good, but it didn't come close. It didn't really surpass Goku Black vs. Reverse Flash. That episode is like the second best in the series, right after King Mickey versus Yoda, or Yoda versus King Mickey. That was amazing. I really tried to look for problems in that episode. I really did. And I regret giving it a 7 out of 10. Did I give it I think I gave it a 7 out of 10 for my first viewing. But I regret giving it a 7 out of 10. But I definitely think that this episode is a solid 8 out of 10. It was really good. I enjoyed it. And it is really, really good. The post-analysis was also kind of good, with them saying that, oh, if we give Alucard Schrodinger, then we can't give him his other abilities because that doesn't make sense in the world of Hellsing. Which does make sense. But of course, with all good things, there must be some bad things. A lot of people are really mad that Alucard died. In fact, I have some comments from the Rooster Teeth airing, because if you don't know, Rooster Teeth have their own comment section that you can check, even if the episode isn't out for normal people yet. It's only out for first members, but they still, for some reason, leave the comments there. And you can see the comments in the and people being really mad. And I wanted to show you this comment. I've obviously cut out the name because I don't want people to just go and harass this person. But this comment is just so funny to me, I had to show you. Let me show you right now. So, here's the comment. It reads as follows. Bull horse effing shit. I censored out the words because my parents are probably going to watch this, so... And I'm not allowed to say the F word. I'm not allowed to drop F-bombs casually, so... You highballed the absolute hell out of DIO and nerfed Alucard to the ground to cheat this battle. Getting serious Wonder Woman v Thor vibes. You fricks just decide the winner ahead of time and lie about the data or skew it as hard as you can until you have a convincing enough lie in your own empty freaking heads. I think it's about time we talk about the post-analysis. So, obviously, there are a lot of people angry about Alucard's death, considering that his whole gimmick is that he cannot die. Or, well, he can, but it's just, like, it's impossible to kill him. Pardon me. It's impossible to kill him. So, for starters, I just want to say that while both Alucard and DIO are at multi-city block level of power, although in this death battle they calculated DIO at, like, town level, which I find a bit weird, but they said his laser eye attack was, like, worth 10 megatons of TNT, which, because, like, split the sky, which I find a bit weird, but I'll let people in the comments discuss this if it's viable or not, but anyway, so they calculated DIO's eye attack at 10.5 megatons of TNT. So, I have said before that while both are in similar tiers of power, DIO is physically superior. Like, he's physically stronger, he's faster, he's just got more abilities and all that stuff. Whatever. I mean, I didn't think I said the last part. I can't remember. But, and it's pretty obvious that DIO holds the stat advantage here. They also said that while they didn't give Schrödinger Alucard, they said if they did, DIO could just hypnotize Alucard and, like, tell him and make him tell him and make Alucard tell him everything about his power set, so he can then be like, oh, you have, like, something that, like, prevents you from dying unless you want to die? Okay, can you get rid of that, please? Which a lot of people are saying shouldn't happen since DIO, or since Alucard's third eye kind of, although they did say that Alucard's third eye doesn't protect him from, like, hypnosis. It just protects him from, like, illusions, I think, which happened with Zoran Blitz. Again, that's only my knowledge from Hellsing Ultimate and, the Abridged series. So, again, I'm not really that familiar with Alucard, and the stuff I am familiar with DIO with is just, like, small potatoes. But yeah, the post-analysis, for the most part, was fine, I guess. The death, I didn't even talk about the death, jeez. The death was also kind of fine. I mean, the idea that Alucard cannot see the world. So while DIO just says Muda over and over again, Alucard thinks that the sheer magnitude of DIO's words are powerful enough to hurt him. That's kind of funny, not gonna lie. Just the idea that your opponent is saying this one word so powerfully that it's actively killing you. I also had a comment say that, I also saw a comment say, they basically forced Alucard to use level 0 in that part. Can I just say that even if he didn't use level 0, it wouldn't have mattered since DIO is like 1,000,000 times faster. Like, he's like fast enough to kill Alucard like 3,000,000 times over. The only reason they use level 0 is because A, it's like Alucard's strongest attack, and B, cinematic timing. They can't really have... Like, it's gonna take a long time for DIO to kill Alucard 3,000,000 times over. So level 0 was just the animation's way of speeding up the process, kind of. But yeah, overall, good episode. 8 out of 10. I loved it. It was way better than John versus Saberwolf. I highly recommend it. Don't let salty Alucard fans distract you from this episode, or call this episode Ben 10 versus Green Lantern 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever .0 anymore. It's a good episode. If you ignore some of the bad stuff, and by some of the bad stuff I mean like the nitpicky stuff, then it's just a really good time. So yeah. And with that, our time together is over once again. Thank you all so much for joining me on another adventure. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss a video. And we are getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm honestly shocked. I never thought I would even make it to... I was happy when I made it to 10. And that was like a year ago, jeez. But, honestly, and I also want to thank you guys on the support for the best lines in Death Battle videos that I did that were like seconds long, but the first one has over 200,000 views, which is just surprising. I want to thank you guys so much for the support. Without you, I'd probably just have this channel to watch and subscribe to other video people. So yeah, it's my birthday soon, so I'll probably make a video then about Mario vs. Sonic, because that's an episode that came out around the time my birthday came out, the 17th of October. I was born the 28th. So like I said, it was basically meant to be. I'm going to talk about that episode on my birthday because it is an episode that is very near and dear to my heart. So... I'm also very sorry that the prediction part of the segment of the video wasn't that long, but I don't really know that much about Shao Kahn or Akuma, so yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. See ya.